I am high on 3 grams of magic mushrooms, but I will try my best to replicate this ayahuasca trip I had back in October 22? No. We just arrived at the retreat called Arcana. There were some girls just dancing for us and guys drumming some Peruvian tribal music. And we were greeted by having to take a vomitivo, which basically means that you have to chuck down 5 liters of tea right in the morning until you vomit. I don't really remember why, but I felt really relieved afterwards. So later in the day we met up with the shamans, having to tell them about our intentions for the trip, which for me was to attack my goals without fear. Because I think sadly fear is what is preventing most of human beings to achieve greatness. So prepared for the trip, we all met up at the Maloka, which was a gigantic tent reaching to the sky. Where I just received the most disgusting brew of my whole life, which was ayahuasca. I almost vomited after ingesting this brew, but I tried my best to let it sit in. Half an hour later, I began to be in a more dream state mind, where the shadows began to wave and to do its own thing. And suddenly the Icarus started, which is meant to have profound healing effects. At first I was very scared by those sounds, because it felt like they were screaming at me. But 15 minutes later, the others in the circle began to vomit, which didn't make things better. Until 5 minutes later, I started to vomit myself. And this was the moment when the effect started to happen. There were those insects and bugs coming out of my mouth. And it was at this particular moment that I realized that I'm on the other side of planet Earth, completely by myself on ayahuasca. After vomiting, I felt so relieved. It was as if all of the negative emotions, beliefs and thoughts were just getting sucked out of my body, and all of this accompanied by the Icarus. And then I could finally enjoy. All the sounds of the Icarus started to feel so intense. I started to have such strong audio-visual feelings. To this point, the Icarus for me just felt like everybody was screaming randomly in every direction, but I perfectly distinguished every single singer and every vocal out of the Icarus. It felt so amazing to just concentrate on one singer after the other. Every singer was giving so much feelings and emotions, and just sensing all the love and affection they were giving to us throughout their voice. At this point, the experience shifted very much inwardly. I was just in my own emotions, having so much ideas about editing videos, such a strong creative space. I felt so much inspiration, like infinite amount of ideas coming in. The facilitators asked us if we would like to take a second dose, and I was like, hell yeah. I was talking to the facilitators like completely borracho, taking again 40 milliliters of this magical brew. And after chucking down the second dose, everything started to feel so intense. At this point, you can imagine myself being in a mattress like a complete drug addict. I was making this weird movements I can remember, not having any control over my body. I was in a mattress, in the blanket like this, actually sweating a lot. I was sweating so much, my whole body was wet, but I was still so cold in the blanket, and I could hear every single sound in this state. I was so immersed to every single sensation. I couldn't at all feel my body. I was actually doing this to remember myself that my physical body actually still exists, but having this profound and such strong emotional experience. The Icarus stopped and the shaman started to play the guitar and even sing along, and the vibrations and the voice was so beautiful. Pictures of my past relationships and friendships I've had throughout my life were coming in, and I re-experienced my own life in such a profound way with all the emotions, all the up and downs. It was so intense, definitely at the peak of the experience. Heute Vlog. I felt the strongest emotions of my whole life, definitely. I completely lost myself. I couldn't handle it. I was crying at this point. I was laying down there in the mattress like this, looking up at the sky and having those pictures of my mother and my sister coming in and feeling this immense amount of love and affection they were giving me throughout my life. Realizing that I have all the love and gratitude I want in my life, I need in my life. I don't know what to make out of all of this. Tears were running down my face and I was feeling so much gratitude because I could live a life with people actually loving me and realizing that love is the only thing everybody needs, which truly makes us happy.